I thank the Executive Secretary of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization for his statement. In accordance with the decision just taken, I now give the floor to Mr. Karipbek Kulyukov, Honorary Ambassador of the Atom Project.
President Miroslav Lajčák, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a very important day in my life, and I am grateful to everyone who has given me the opportunity to speak before you today. My voice sounds on behalf of all of the survivors and the dead, the victims of nuclear weapons. All that you will hear today will be yet another reminder of the bitter experience of Kazakhstan, which has experienced the full horrors and pain of nuclear tests. My story of the struggle against nuclear weapons began in 1968, when a small boy was born in an ordinary Kazakh family in the small village of Yegind Bulak. The small boy was born without both arms. On the 29th of August 1949, the Council of Ministers of the USSR decided to establish the Semipalatinsk nuclear test site. And the first nuclear weapons tests of weapons created in the USSR were conducted there. 1,000 families, ethnic Kazakhs living on the land allocated for the test site, became hostages of radiation exposure. For the first nuclear test, the military engineers prepared the so-called test field, the experimental field, and a nuclear charge was placed at the epicenter of that field. Equipment was installed not far from the epicenter, including military equipment, tanks, aircraft, and armored cars. And in many shelters, animal test subjects, sheep, pigs, dogs, and of course also people who lived and worked near the nuclear test site were placed in these areas for 40 years while the nuclear explosions were conducted on that site. And all of this was done to investigate and study the power of the destructive force of those nuclear explosions. My family still remembers how our house shook when a radiation wave from yet another explosion passed underneath us. As a creative person, I express my pain and my protest by drawing pictures holding the brush in my teeth or my toes. Recently, I turned 50, and I have devoted 25 years of my life to the fight against nuclear weapons. Our country has the moral right to promote global anti-nuclear initiatives. At the moment, I am the Honorary Ambassador of the Atom Project, which was created upon the initiative of the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The efforts of the President of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, in this area have met with understanding and support from the global community. With his decree closing the Semipalatinsk nuclear test site, he showed everybody that Kazakhstan has chosen the path of peace and good, and that this is a worthy example for other countries to follow. On behalf of all of the victims of nuclear weapons, I would like to ask the leaders and legislators of countries such as Egypt, India, Iran, Israel, the DPRK, China, Pakistan, and the United States to sign and ratify the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. Please help us to ensure safety from the harmful effects of nuclear testing for future generations. The time has come for you to change the world for the better. Only through joint efforts will we be able to achieve a complete ban on nuclear testing. This is precisely why the Atom Project was created. On its website, you can find an online petition with a demand for country leaders to create a nuclear-free world. To date, the number of people who have signed the petition is more than 312,000 from more than 100 countries. Our goal is to collect 1 million signatures. Anybody can sign the petition on the project's website, www.theatomproject.org, and in doing so, they can contribute to building a world without nuclear weapons. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the President of the 72nd Session of the UN General Assembly, Mr. Miroslav Lajčák, and also to the Permanent Representative of Kazakhstan to the United Nations, Mr. Kairat Umarov, for giving me the opportunity to speak about this again, and in doing so to attract the attention of the entire international community. Undoubtedly, this will serve as an additional impetus to advancing the common cause of a prohibition on nuclear testing around the world. We must learn the most bitter lessons of the history of the consequences of nuclear testing and strive for the total elimination of nuclear weapons. Peace and calm for your families. Thank you for your attention.